So in this video, we are talking about Nick Rekieta. So before I jump into it and before we react to this clip, I used to watch this guy quite a bit. I remember watching him during the Rittenhouse trials, the Anderson, the Anderson trials, which was a guy who shot both his parents and claimed they went off to vacation in their cabin. So as far as him being a Lawtube, very entertaining, very funny. And he would have these other panelists on from the Lawtube sphere. Very funny guy, but now he's kind of just fell off the wagon, pardon the expression, but it just seems like he doesn't give a shit, which leads us to react to this video. And here we go. Let me... All right.
Because for me, if I want to watch another trial, and I do, Courtney Clenny is coming up, the OnlyFans killer. If I want to watch another trial, I have to go a minimum of however many weeks, and I have to work 12 to 15 hours on a day, plus the nighttime, with a couple hours nap in between. I have to wake up the next day and do it again and again and again. And I have to cancel every appointment I have.
Bullshit. I think you could schedule that better. You could probably chop that down to 8-hour coverage. So it just seems like in this video he's making excuse after excuse. Now, I know I'm like a bottom of the barrel, like dipshit, and I'm gonna give my own personal story here later, but a 2-hour nap. Oh no, he has to make money from home, ladies and gentlemen. He's gonna make thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars sitting his fat ass talking to a webcam and responding to live chats and donos that people have to pay for. Oh no, poor baby. Oh God, come on.
Every midday appointment I have, and I typically have 2 to 3 midday appointments a week, minimum.
Appointments? What appointments, champ? Or are you just coming up with excuses?
I have to cancel all those. I have to push them back for weeks. I have to do this thing.
Well, you were such a fucking expert on Eric July's magazine sales and renting out warehouses, but yet you can't schedule up a time for yourself? I mean, like, you were such a fucking expert when it came to square yardage for renting out a warehouse, and oh, I hope Eric July makes $1 million, otherwise she's going under. Such an expert, but now when it comes to this situation, all of a sudden he's got to cancel appointments for weeks to come. He's got to get a 2-hour nap. Come on, bro.
For 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day, and then...
Most people gotta work in a factory 2 to 8 hours a day. Like, out there's someone who's working a job that makes them want to stick a shotgun barrel in their mouth, but they can't do anything because that's how they provide for their family. Well, meanwhile, it's people like this, who has the golden hand of Midas or of God himself bless him with this opportunity to be a streamer, to make money sitting on his fat ass, doing nothing, essentially. What I like to say is nothing. And this guy's complaining about it. Meanwhile, there's people out there, like, I know, for me personally, soon here, I'm going to have to work retail again. Which, as per, like, mentioned earlier, kind of makes me want to, right? Because there's no other options. Like, this is not, like, a thing. You know, I'm not Nick Rekieta. I can't fire up a stream and make, like, 8 to 10 grand or whatever bullshit he makes, right?
I have to go online at night and still do my night show because my night show is the actual show. I've always said I'll prioritize.
Incorporate it with your night show and rake in the cash. What are you complaining about, man? This guy's complaining about...
prioritize night show to everything else. So, this is not a complaint.
Sure as fucking sounds like a complaint to me, Nick.
The thing where I have to balance that reality with a wife and 5 children.
You seem to balance it just fair during the Rittenhouse trials, where you covered that week's on end. You seem to balance that fair earlier with the Anderson case. You seem to balance it fair just then and easy back then. What's changed now all of a sudden? You can't honestly tell me that things have changed that much since those cases. Like, bullshit. Come on, man.
Other law streamers don't necessarily have a wife and 5 children to balance it.
Yeah, but they also have lives and they make fucking time. Now, Nick Rekieta, I don't know how much money he's made, but he's made a considerable amount to make a comfortable living to provide for his family. And God bless him for that. I'm going to compare and contrast like his bullshit complaining here with my own like experience here on this platform. I had one channel for 13 years. Might have made $2. That channel got deleted for a joke. So there went 13 years down the toilet. Now this one's done a little bit better. Might have made $60 in 4 years. So $60. Okay, and I know like I've been in situations where my despair and depression just wants me to delete everything, clear the content, and just like fade into obscurity. But you see, I can't do that because there's been people who've like loaned me their precious time out of their life to watch my shitty content, to watch and put energy into my content, the comments, the likes, and for the 5 to 10 of people who have done that, like my God, I owe you the world. And that's why I don't go through with clearing everything and deleting this channel, because I owe the small community I have just so much. And I owe them the world to continue making content and to making them laugh, to give them ideas, things to think about. But let's contrast this with a guy who's like probably made him like I don't know. I assume he's a millionaire off this shit. I think there was a few streams where he made over $100,000. So he's made enough to buy a whole fucking house in one of these streams. So the fact that he's complaining about this like Midas touch, that he has the skill set of a lawyer, having his bar exam fucking piece. Look, I'm mongoloid, okay? But he has the skill set, this interesting insight into court cases and shit. And it's just maddening to see him like, oh, can't do it. I just like sack up, bud. And again, to preface this from the beginning, you had 5 kids and a wife before during the Rittenhouse trial and the Anderson trial, but now all of a sudden you have appointments. You've got such a busy schedule. Like most of the time you're doing is drinking and going to swinging parties, bud, and going to vacation with your wife, which that's a prerogative to do. So I'm not saying you're not allowed to do that. But something tells me that it's cutting into his drinking time, his degenerate time. Again, and I'm not going to get too, like, judgmental or self-righteous about it, but there's other things going, like, it's just irritating to see someone like this that has been afforded such a beautiful opportunity, a miracle, a blessing, and he's going to straight up just piss on his followers, his fan base, by saying he can't do it, and there's all these things he has to do all of a sudden that, oh, now all of a sudden he's got appointments and this, he has to take a 2-hour nap. You know what I would do? I would do so many explicit, illegal things to get 1/10, just 1/10, nay, 1/100th of the support Rekieta does. Of course, that's just theoretically hypothetical. I'm not an unconscionable bastard. I got like a good conscience and soul, but this guy's success it is quite impressive. And this isn't a thing like I'm shitting on Rekieta, but Rekieta has no excuses here. It's kind of too late to take in all these people's money from the Vic Manana shit, and the anime groups, the Warhammer fans, and now you're trying to scrape in the comic book fans and get donos that way. You're just scooping up all this capital, and if you're doing that, taking people's donations and money and time, that unless if it's in a severe circumstance like medical or a family emergency, then you can say I'm closing it down and stopping it. But until then, you can't. I don't know. It's just in my opinion that you couldn't just shut everything down. But then again, I think Nick Rekieta might have a touch of a drinking problem, and from someone who's seen family members like drink themselves to death, there's quite a few like mannerisms this guy has that mimics that. and I hope it doesn't get bad enough. I don't know, it just appears like he has a like pretty bad drinking problem, in my opinion. So hopefully he defeats it. Hopefully he goes back, and hopefully he does cover this OnlyFans killer. That'd be fucking fascinating. So Nick, like, get your shit in order. Do the streams. You can manage. You can even do small little like 4-hour blocks to cover the trial if you wanted to. The fans will support you, even if it's like a 3 or just 2-hour segment covering the case. Or you can just live stream what's going on for 4 or 5 hours and say, hey guys, that's all I got for today. I got my kids, and everyone's gonna understand. So it just seems like a whole lot of excuses and bullshit for a guy who people will consume his content regardless. Of course, there's people still in his camp after the shit he said about cuties and things, which there's people that will support him even with that opinion. You know, tip the hat, I guess. But yeah, a little compare and contrast. This guy has no excuse, and yeah, what a turd. Anyways, and in closing, look, I know I'm a nobody, and I'm like punching up. I'm like punching at a like Promethean Titan as far as content wise, but I just saw this and had to give my own 2 cents on it. It irritated me to no end, and like him, DSP, Ethan Ralph, and so many others have been given such a miracle, such a blessing, and for them just to slap that at their own hands, or from God's hands, example, whatever. I'm slowly losing my mind, but anyways, I'll wrap it up here. See you next time. God bless. Stay happy, stay healthy, and till next time.